What up, everybody? So tonight I'm going to teach you how to sell. It's a lot of customer service mixed in with a little bit of persuasion and all presented with some good timing. So tonight we are talking something that is near and dear to my heart, salesmanship. So everybody, welcome to Booze and Biz. It's another Wednesday, 7 p.m. We do them every Wednesday night. We drink our favorite drinks and we talk about business. Oh yeah. Tonight I'm drinking Dos Equis and I'm also drinking Land Sharks. I'm going Mexican beers, working on learning Spanish right now. So I got to bring the Spanish beers up in here. Before we jump into the show though, before we get into some salesmanship stuff, I wanted to drop a cool little thing for you. So if you are somebody that is in the bounce house business and you're either wanting to start and don't know where to go, or just started and need a little bit of guidance, we have got something amazing for you. We've put together, so it is myself, Justin from Party Rental Knowledge, and Adam Keller. We're going to be throwing a humongous class. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be called Event Rental University. If you guys are interested in attending, it is either $500 a day. Okay, so it's a 3-day event, $500 a day. We're going to have 2 days of bounce house and 1 day of tent. If you want to attend all three and get both days of the bounce house stuff with Justin and I, and then get the 10th day to do a tent rental with the master with Adam, you get a nice little price break on that. $1,300 you want to do all 3 days. Okay. If you're interested, tickets are on sale now. They are on my store, thejumpoffstore.com. Just go to thejumpoffstore.com. You'll see them right there. It's a nice little blue graphic for Event Rental University. All right. So like I said, first 2 days are bounce house. It's going to be everything you need to start your business from if we need to start at the very beginning with how to get your EIN and file for LLC, we'll do that. And then you just kind of think of all the stuff we cover on Booze and Biz, all the questions you see, all the videos that Justin and I have on YouTube that answer all those questions, every question you ever see in the Facebook groups, all that kind of stuff. We're going to be teaching you all of that kind of stuff, right? It's going to be super mega awesome. It's April 25th, 26th, 27th in Buffalo, New York. So book your tickets, okay? Along with an elite level of knowledge, we're going to have amazing sponsors. We're going to have some super cool swag. I'm going to have some rolling strap swag. You're going to have direct access to Adam, to myself, to Justin. It's going to be super awesome. I promise we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that it's not only awesome, but you learn everything you need. And then you're able to go out into the world and have massive, massive success. So a little bit later in the show, we'll jump in. We'll kind of shift gears from salesmanship. We'll talk a little bit about the class and kind of what we're doing, what we're planning, what we're thinking. It's going to be freaking awesome. I'm super excited. Okay. So last week we talked about something that ended up pretty heavy and mega epic, which was, when should I quit my job? All right. I know that episode hit home for a ton of people. I had some very, very awesome messages coming my way the next few days. And I'm proud to say that our conversation made a major impact on a lot of different people's lives. Okay. Which is right. The entire mission of this show. So last week, massive, huge success. Okay. By the way, the point of last week's show was not to talk people into quitting their jobs. Okay. It was just to kind of give courage to the people that wanted to leave their careers, the courage to do so. Right. I just kind of wanted to push people to make changes so that they could be happy. I know I get messages all the time from people that are not happy and they want to get out of their job and they want to go full-time entrepreneur. But it's a scary topic, right? So the whole premise of last week's show is to basically say, you can do it and you will be just fine with some hard work and some smart decisions. Okay. But it was a massive success. And by the way, if you do not want to quit your job, then don't, right? It's not a good thing or a bad thing. I know there's also people out there that like their jobs, love their jobs. They have great paying jobs. And then they do inflatables. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even call it they do inflatables on the side, right? They just do both. But the whole point is do what makes you happy, right? When I quit my job, I had to switch to drinking Natty Light and nasty Folgers and stopped taking vitamins and supplements. I canceled all my monthly subscriptions because I quit my job with 2 bounce houses. But for me, it was just like, I just was so utterly unhappy. Like I had to do it. Right. So if anybody, I want to see the pirate flags for anybody who had that meaningful conversation with your loved ones about potentially quitting your job. Put the pirate flag in the comments. I want to see some pirate flags. Okay. And look, if you actually quit, just hit the pirate flag 3 times, man. Because if you actually quit, then you're now the captain of your own ship, baby. So, and the pirate flag is near and dear to my heart. So, but anyways, last week was a massive success. So I just want to thank everybody that came by and everybody that quit their jobs. Hell yes. Please lean on me for support because I'm here for it. Okay. So for this week, we're going to talk about something that I think needs to be addressed majorly. But to me, it makes sense that it needs to be addressed majorly. And the reason I say that is because it's becoming apparent to me that this industry as a whole is lacking severely the sense of salesmanship, or kind of that urgency to sell and make the sale. And I didn't want to use the words customer service because I really wanted to put it around selling in specifics. Okay. So, but to me, I kind of was trying to think through it, and it made sense to why the rest of the industry doesn't have a massive sales ability behind it. And that's just because I don't think a lot of people came from a background where they were doing any selling. Like, selling is a weird thing, and you kind of have to get good at it, right? Over time. There's some people that were put on this earth that were just God's gift to selling, right? It happens, but for the most people, you got to learn it. Okay. So, and it was kind of on my mind. So Jana did a roundtable, I think 3 weeks ago, that I was on, that was sales oriented. And some of the discussions in there were making me get anxiety and go crazy. And it's been a lot on my mind since then. So that's why I wanted to cover today. Salesmanship. Okay. So first things first, let's talk about what the hell salesmanship actually is. So this is my definition, but it's having the skills to be able to make the products or services that you have seem appealing to customers, and doing so with a demeanor that kind of drives your customer to take action with their money, right? You make people buy, okay? There's many different styles of salesmanship that you can deploy, right? And because we all have separate personalities, different personalities, the methods we're each going to use are going to be totally different from each other, but they all basically have the same end goal in mind, which is make the sale. This is because selling is both an art and a science all in one. And if it's something you've never done before, it's an odd balance between those two. Not to mention, it's highly intimidating. The first time I ever stepped on a sales floor, I was such a dismal salesman. It's embarrassing. I was very uncomfortable even talking to the customers that walked in, because I just thought I was bothering them, let alone trying to persuade them to buy something or to buy extra things. Okay. At the time I was 18 and I almost got fired from that job very quickly. All right. Luckily for me, my boss at the time liked me, and it bought me some time. That boss would then eventually kind of get through to me at how important selling actually was and how fun it was, which eventually led me on a couple different paths. Okay. One of them being that I actually found real joy and value in selling. And it's, in my opinion, it's one of the main skills that helped me transition from employee to entrepreneur, because I had the confidence to sell strangers different products. So I had the confidence to put myself out there on the internet, to put myself out there on Facebook, to go knock on doors, right? To drop off bounce houses when I was new. Like, it just gave me the confidence to quit my job with basically nothing to jump to at the time and know I'd be successful because I could sell, right? So the guy that taught me how to sell, his name's Drew. He actually went on to be my boss for a very long time at many different levels, and actually ended up becoming my best friend, and believe it or not, was the best man at my wedding. I actually just talked to Drew yesterday. That job also turned into a 16-year career. So 7 of those years I spent on the sales floor as a commission-based salesman. And then the last 9 years, I worked on salary as a district manager, teaching all the other commission-based salespeople how to sell. So that's kind of my story of how I became my experience with selling. We'll put it like that. So I want to look real quick at the utility of salesmanship, or think about it like this, why it's important, right? So the reason salesmanship is super important is because it doesn't matter what you do, okay? And we're almost all bounce house people in this room, but it doesn't matter what you do. You have something in your business that you need a customer to pay for, okay? It can be either products or it can be services. So if you want to have this little business that you just created out of thin air be successful, you need a shit ton of people to buy things from you. So what I'm going to cover here is the part of salesmanship where we're interacting with people, okay? So that's really what I'm going to focus on today. There is salesmanship in the form of marketing. I do not want to cover that tonight. If you run a Facebook ad, what does the picture look like and what do the words look like, right? Or how does the copy read? That's salesmanship. How do you get someone to take action? That's marketing salesmanship. This is not a marketing episode, okay? So, but do me a favor. If you do want a marketing episode, we can totally do one. Give me a money sign emoji in the comments. Give me a money sign emoji in the comments if you guys want to do a marketing episode. I'm more than happy to do it at a later date. The other important part of salesmanship, in my opinion, that I'm not going to cover tonight, because we actually already covered it 2 weeks ago, is the design of your website. All right. Now I come from retail, so it's like in my brain, it's how your store looks. But if your store looks like shit, people are not going to come in and buy anything from you. If your website looks like shit, people are going to go to it and be like, oh my God, hell no, and bounce, right? So that moves people to action. We already did that, so we're not going to cover that tonight either. It's kind of the premise is you've already got your website set up to where it looks appealing to your customers. All right. If you guys do want to watch that video, I'm going to drop the link to the YouTube version of that show from 2 weeks ago into the chats right here. And if you're on YouTube or the podcast, it'll be in the description down below. But you guys can go watch that tomorrow or something so you can get your website right. All right. Now, onward. Let's go onward to the real deal salesmanship here. So how do you persuade customers to pay you for your service? All right. There's generally two different styles of selling. Okay. There's the high volume salesperson and there's the high ticket salesperson. Okay. The reason I want to cover this is because in my mind, it's very important for you to know which of those two you are, because the more you can stay in your strength zone, the more success you're going to have. Okay. So for me, I'm a high volume salesperson and always have been. All right. That means as a high volume salesperson, we like to move fast, close as many deals as possible, and we focus on the things that are going to create more transactions. All right. On the flip side, the high ticket salesperson is going to move slower with your customers, right? You're going to tend to try and sell more products to one customer that's already going to buy something, so you can drive your average ticket up, okay, by adding items on. So the strength of the high volume guy, me, is that we don't let customers buy anywhere else, right? We want to convert every single person we come into contact with, regardless of how much or how little they're going to buy. We don't care, okay? We're out to drive conversion, okay? We'll take on a lot of clients, and then the thought of us missing an opportunity to sell something or quote unquote losing a customer like sends anxiety through our veins. Like I can't describe to you the physical sensation I get if one of my customers, if we miss an opportunity to sell one of my customers and they go elsewhere. It almost makes me sick. Okay. The strength of the high ticket guy, okay, which is not me, is that they're going to maximize the amount of money that each person spends. Okay. So they're adding on extra items. So think of it like this. If it's a $200 sale that I would have got, the high ticket salesperson adds on extra stuff to make it $285. Okay. They're going to make more money from each customer because they take the time to try to maximize each customer one way or another. Okay. Both types also have weaknesses, of course. Okay. So my weakness, the high volume seller, is that we get so focused on adding another customer that we do not maximize the customers that we're with very well. All right. We almost settle for the one item transaction because we see it as changing the cash register. We converted and we're already setting our sights on finding another sales transaction. Okay. The high ticket salesperson, their weakness is almost the opposite. They can be almost so consumed by adding on more items to the customer that they have that they're willing to miss an opportunity to sell so they can drive this ticket higher, if that makes sense. Almost prefer taking $0 from this guy so I can get maximum dollars from this guy. Right? The reason that it's important to figure out which one you are is, like I said earlier, you want to live within your strength zone. So there was a point in time in my life a long time ago, okay, when I was on a sales floor, where I tried to learn how to be the high ticket salesman. And it's just like I'm so out of sorts, like I can't even function correctly because I'm just high speed. I'm just a volume salesman. It's just who I am. Okay. Now, if you guys read any of the comments or follow me closely and see my posts and kind of how I do things, it becomes pretty obvious pretty quickly. I'm a high volume salesperson, right? I will take every single thing that possibly comes our way. I don't say no to any rentals. We've never canceled an event. Okay. It's just volume, 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 volume. Okay. Ultra last minute stuff. I'll rearrange the entire drop schedule for a Saturday to fit another $185 dry combo in there. I will do it. I have done it. I did it twice 2 weekends ago. Okay. My brain is just wired to see the opportunity in taking that small order. What I mean by that is the jump off gets in front of 20 plus extra people at that party. And my brain says to me, if at least one of those people hears something good about us and books a combo, we add another $185 rental from that other person, right? We added a whole nother transaction. It's just the way my brain is wired. Okay. The high ticket seller thinks I'm out of my fucking mind, right? Going so crazy, trying to rearrange stuff, shoehorning things in at the last minute for $185 rental, because in their mind, they can charge an extra fee, right? They can charge either a late booking fee, last minute fee, whatever that is, or they can just say to the person, we have a $300 limit for the last minute rental. So if you want the $185 combo, you also got to get a popcorn machine and chairs or whatever, right? If that $185 bounce house person says, no, thank you, that's too expensive for me, the high ticket guy goes, that's good. I don't want to do the job for $185 anyway, right? If they say no to me, I can't stand it. I can't sleep at night, right? So neither of us, the lesson here is that neither of those are wrong, right? The right way to do it is definitely a blend of the two, but make no mistake, like I know I'm a volume guy, and then I try to add some ticket stuff in there. I'm never going to flip it on its head. It's just not going to be who I am, okay? So hopefully now you have an idea of who you are after you hear all of that. So now I want to get into the tactical part, okay? Let's teach you how to be a better salesman. So this stuff is all interacting with your clients. Okay, so I kind of organize these into a little bit into rules. So salesmanship rule number 1, and I made this number 1 on purpose. Number 1 is practice urgency. Make the sale now while you have the chance. The opportunity to sell something to a customer does not come by all that often. So when it does, you need to do everything you can to stop and make a relationship with that customer. Okay, that means drop what you're doing so you can pay attention to the customer's needs. Nothing is more important in that moment than that customer, because without customers, we don't have a business. We are literally in business to sell to customers, to serve customers. Okay, so if you're at your desk working on your website and you're in the middle of some crazy thing and somebody calls or texts, stop what you're doing so you can converse with them. If you're at Harbor Freight and you're buying tarps, step outside the store so you can talk to them and you can sell to them. If you ignore the customer for some small little task, I promise you that task will get done. And I promise you that customer's going somewhere else to spend their money with somebody else. You only get one shot at it, okay? Fun fact, as the volume guys, the high volume guy, I thrive on being the guy, and this is all in my brain, right? You don't ever know, but that they call, that I do drop everything. And they're like, man, I couldn't get, I hear that all the time though. I couldn't get anybody else on the phone. What the hell? Like, yep, not only do you have me on the phone, I'm ready for your credit card, man. But I revel in that, like, let me take that, okay? Moving on to salesmanship rule number 2, interact with the customer in the way they prefer, not the way you prefer, okay? That's a fancy way of saying answer the goddamn phone when it rings, please. the amount of people I found out that don't answer the phone and have an auto text that sends the client a text message after they purposely missed the phone call is bananas to me. Insanity. Okay. If they called you, that means they want to talk to you. If they text you, it means they want to text with you. Do what the customer wants so you can win their business. The other thing here is that a phone call, and this is why I'm so passionate about that. The phone call is the absolute easiest place to close a sale because you're communicating in real time. You can persuade them with over the phone with tone of voice, personality. It all comes through the phone. It does not come through text. Okay. Plus, they're on the phone with you, right? If you start texting them, they're going to put their phone down, and then they got kids and they got other shit going on. The phone is the easiest place to make a sale. You just don't hang it up until you get their credit card number. Not that crazy, okay? Don't send them back to your website to go shopping. They were already there and they were confused. That's why they called you. You have to remember that some people have brains where it almost turns off when they have to do something with technology, right? Their hands turn backwards and they can't use a keyboard. Communicate with them the way they want to be communicated with, because that's how you're going to make the sale. Okay. Now, it is worth noting here. I know some very successful people that send them back to the website to book. And if they don't book, then they weren't our kind of customer, quote, our kind of customer. To me, as high volume guy, that is outrageous, wildly outrageous. But that's because I want to make every sale. I want to make every sale and I can't let one slip through my hands. If I have the shot to make a sale and instead point to where they need to go, just go back to the website and hope they buy, is just, it gives me ulcers. It gives me ulcers. If you run your business that way, I am not saying you're wrong. All right. My show and it's my opinion. And the notion of doing that, I just will never, ever, never, ever, never understand. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how long I'm in business. Will not understand. Okay. Here's why. I did not start a business to try to avoid customers. I started a business to try to get customers. Like, that's the entire freaking premise of the business, is get customers. So if I have one that calls the phone, I've now accomplished that. Let me move them into, now they paid me, right? Everybody has different ambitions. Everybody runs their businesses differently. That's what I love about entrepreneurship. There is no right. I'm not right. I'm just telling you how passionate I am about my view of this, okay? And the reason I'm that passionate is, one, I was raised that way in sales for a long time. Two, it matches my personality and my ambitions. Three, I get a lot of messages from people. I get a lot of messages from people that aren't as busy as they want to be. And as I've dug into this, I'm fucking shocked and just almost embarrassed for them. How can you complain you're not as busy as you want to be and you don't answer the phone? Don't get it. Don't get it. Okay, moving on. Salesmanship rule number 3. Brevity is the key to the conversation, right? Streamline your conversation so you can get the info that you need to make the sale. It's not like we're selling houses here, okay? We're renting bounce houses. We don't need to have some humongous conversation, okay? What I mean is this. Don't ask what kind of inflatable they had in mind. They got no idea. Ask them instead a very specifically worded question, which is, which inflatable was your favorite from the website? Okay. If they don't know, then great. I will absolutely walk them through picking one out, right? I'll answer all the questions. I got no problems with that. But by wording the question in a way that assumes they already know, it makes them choose without us having to go back and forth, right? And then you slip website in there, so you don't have to say, have you been to the website? You say, which inflatable was your favorite from the website? It gets all that information that you need across them, boom, in one nice little clean message, okay? Don't text. Okay, let's say they tell you the inflatable they want. Don't text back and ask the time of the party, where they text you back at 11. And then you text and ask them, what's the address of the party? And they tell you 123 Main Street. And then you text them back and you say, cool, what surface are we setting up on? And they text you back, grass. And then you text them back, did you want to get the damage waiver in case there was a puncture? No, 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 no. Send one message that asks all the questions so they can reply with one text message back to you. And pro tip, don't ask about the damage waiver, just add it in. If they don't want it, they will tell you, okay? They'll tell you to take it off, no big deal. After you get the info from them, right? They send you all 3 pieces of vital information back. Don't tell them you're going to go work on it. Just go do it. Just go do it. Make the booking and then send them the link to go pay the deposit with the instructions on what to do to make the booking theirs, aka how to pay the deposit. Close the sale, okay? Which leads into salesmanship rule number 4. ABC, always be closing. That means you don't send messages that kill the conversation, okay? Shocked how many of these I've heard are out there, okay? If they ask, is this certain bounce house available? And you reply, yes, it is. You just killed the conversation and you didn't sell them anything, okay? All you did, okay, I need to make this point clear because this is like super passionate to me. All you did at that point in time was fulfill your obligation to answer that customer's question. That is somebody that works at McDonald's. That's what they would do, okay? You need to reply in a way that closes them into the next step of booking, okay? What I mean by that, your reply should be something like this. They say, I want the dinosaur bounce house. You say, yes, that unit is available that day. Let's get you a quote for it so your party can be amazing. What is the address and the time of party and surface we're setting up on? Okay, boom. One sentence gets them to the next step in the sales process and does so in the minimum amount of messages. Okay, what it should not be is, yes, it's available. Do you want to book it? You're just adding unnecessary conversation to the process at this point because it's clear and obvious that they are interested in booking it, okay? Don't just fulfill your obligation to talk to the customer. Go be a salesperson and close them. Go close them, all right? Moving on to salesmanship rule number 5, assume the sale. This is an amazing little trick that moves your sale along quickly, okay? And it's really the overarching theme of rule number 3 and rule number 4. Basically, you're not asking them if they want to buy anything. You're talking to them the entire time as if they for sure are going to buy something, right? They for sure are renting a bounce house, okay? You don't ask them if they're ready to buy. You tell them how to buy, right? So let me give you a couple examples here. So this would be a bad example. Okay, yep, that unit is available and I have your quote for you. Did you want me to send it over so you can rent it? No, don't ask the question, all right? Here's how you should word it, all right? This is a good version. All right, I have everything set. I just text you the link down below to lock in your rental. Hit that link to rent the unit. That's good, okay? The best version would be fantastic. Everything is all set and you can access the booking with the link I sent you below. You have to pay the $50 deposit to lock it in so nobody else can rent your inflatable. So hit the link, do me a favor, double check the info, then hit that big green button at the bottom that says book this event. Oh, and by the way, we also rent tables and chairs if you need extra seating to your party. Should we add on any chairs for you? Which brings me right into salesmanship rule number 6. Always upsell something. So as a salesperson for a long time on a sales floor, I noticed very quickly that 2 funny things happen when you suggest other items. The first funny thing that happened is they just say yes and they add 25 chairs for $50 more. Let's go. Yes, please. Okay. The other funny thing that will happen is they'll say no, but then they want to buy something totally random and totally different. Okay. No, thank you. I don't need any chairs, but do you guys rent croquet sets? What? But that happens as a salesperson. That happens regularly. Okay. Add on to the sale because it makes you more money. There was actually one time when I was back when I was a shoe salesman that I was selling some guys, whatever, some Vans or something. And I tried to sell him this crappy $20 shoe I just wanted gone. And he said no. And instead pointed over across the store at the rack and said, I'll just take a 10 in those Timberlands over there. I don't even need to try it on. I already own a pair and they're old. I just need a new pair. It was a $190 upsell because I tried to sell him some stupid $20 shoe and he was ready to check out. Oh, by the way, I got this $20 shoe. No, thanks, but I'll take the $189 Timberlands. Like, it's totally wild. All right. So here's the thing about salesmanship. It is vital to success. Okay. But it comes down to interacting with your customers like an ambitious business owner who wants to make more sales would interact with their customers, not interacting with them like the guy that stocks the shelves at Walmart. That guy doesn't care about the store, the company, or you, the customer. You know what I mean? I get people that see my posts and my stories of us running 3 trucks. 2 weekends ago, I took a bunch of stuff because I was out with the guys, and I get a lot of replies to those stories, which is awesome, and I'm super humbled. Some of them, though, are like, man, it must be nice, or you're lucky, dude. I only got 3 units going out. You know what I mean? Plenty of times there's very positive feedback in there. I love when people are like, I'm jealous, dude. It's so cool. Or they'll just reply back with the fire emoji. You know what I mean? But first off, it is nice, right? So to the guy that says, man, it must be nice, it is nice AF. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But I promise you, it's not luck. Okay. I've worked very hard at building the jump off, and a huge amount of my success is owed to this salesmanship piece we're talking about right now. And unfortunately, I blame myself for this, but I feel like it's never, ever talked about. Like I've never had a conversation about this until now. Jana did have her roundtable 2 or 3 weeks ago that was about selling, that got my gears in motion. But prior to that roundtable that Jana did, I do not remember a selling conversation ever, right? So here's my thinking on it, though. If you do a great job selling, you'll get more rentals, okay? A certain percentage of those rentals are going to use you again for the next kid's birthday or next year, whatever. So you're going to add a little bit of growth that way, okay? But there's 20 adults at every party, and they're our real clients anyways, right? So if you do a great job from start to finish on all the stuff we've ever talked about, okay, from high communication, clean units, marketing, on-time drop-off, branding signs, friendly service, all that stuff, right? They're going to tell the 20 people that are at that event about you. If you market well at that event with all of those signs, those friends will then rent from you. So you will multiply your growth. Okay. You're not adding to it, multiplying it. All right. That whole theory is called capturing market share, right? Basically, you're taking a larger share of the market. And as you continue, it compounds, right? So you get the hockey stick of growth because 20 more people told their friends about you, right? Pretty soon you're running 4 trailer weekends in May. Okay. So do me the biggest favor in the world. As you get messages and calls from prospective clients, please just remember this crazy rant I just went on about salesmanship. And that's the key to the whole thing, is just try to sell them stuff. And as you do so, experiment with what you say to your customers that moves them to buy more, right? So spoiler alert here, which being ironic, I have actually hired all of this out, okay? I hired a wonderful employee named Cassie and trained her how to do this all for the jump off. It works so incredibly well that I don't even interact with clients anymore. I don't even talk to anybody anymore. Cassie does it all. And I've got it all set up to where she's basically just using the sales scripts that I've written, and I continue to tweak them, but and she's just replying with the sales scripts, boom, boom, boom. And we're closing deals like crazy. I've replicated my level of salesmanship through the sales scripts, and Cassie can just execute on them. And she's like a ninja. She's amazing, right? It worked so well hiring Cassie. Okay. I moved her. She works for me in my other business. I moved her over to the jump off in mid-January. It's gone so incredibly well. We're actually in the beginning stages of me and one of my friends. We're going to partner together and we're going to co-found a company to do this for all of you guys, right? I've talked about it a little bit in the groups, but basically, as of right now, we have 2 companies in the pilot for our bounce house booking company. And it's very early stages. We're on week 1 and week 2 of them, right? Easter was nuts, so we don't have a ton of data, but I can promise you, those businesses are going to get busier because we are selling to the customers like frantic little sales people that I intend to hire, and then those business owners don't have to do anything with the customers anymore. You don't have to do anything. You can just go work on your website. You can just go fix the dolly or build out the trailer or clean the units or whatever. You don't have to worry about the customers anymore, right? If you're interested in this, we're close to being able to take on a third pilot company. And pricing is based on the volume of your company, so it kind of depends. But basically, the pilot companies are coming in at half off, right? So it's only half price. So think $100 or so a week, and then we do all the selling for you. We make you so much busier that we more than pay for our services, and then you don't ever have to talk to clients ever again. You don't ever have to talk to them ever a freaking again. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. You guys can either put it over in the chats somewhere. You can DM me. You can hit me on Facebook Messenger, whatever. But we're gonna see if we can take on another pilot company because I just want more data. It went so well with Cassie that it's so fucking obvious that it works. But I just want more data. So I've got one more of my employees that's going to be able to take on a company, and we're gonna be doing some great stuff. And all the employees are US based, by the way. Nothing is outsourced to Thailand. Everybody keeps telling me Thailand, nothing is outsourced. We all do it. It's all people that I know personally, or work for me. And by the way, if you're a stay-at-home mom, right, and you run the customer side of your bounce house business, and you got some spare time, and you want to take on another one, right? I'm also hiring people that can take on clients as well. So if you're interested in making a little more money on the side, doing what you already do, it's kind of a double whammy, right? You make a little more money on the side, and I'll teach you all my freaking sales techniques. So you can use them in your own business and then take on another business too. If you're in Minnesota and you close on September 1st, but you want to learn how to sell a little bit and make some extra money running through the winter, let's see. I'll find a Miami-based client for that operates all year round. So holler at me if you're interested. So there we go. There is salesmanship. Now, I kind of want to open it up to you guys real quick here and see if. Let me change this and see if you guys have questions or comments or anything, or if you want, let's just open it up. I'm good. And I saw the freaking Zoom chat going crazy when I was yelling about answering the phone. I wasn't reading them because I was ranting, but I saw it moving a whole bunch. So I hope I didn't scare anybody.
I got a question.
Yeah, shoot.
So in the sales process, so I have an inflatable office for our site. That's who our web services are through. We get notifications when a client starts the booking process. You know how the progression goes. I've been experimenting with sending just a simple text message when I see somebody started a quote, and just a quick, hey, this is Dave with the Bouncy House guy. Let me know if you have any questions on the process. Have you experimented with that? Recommend, don't recommend?
Yeah. So there is a excuse me, a little bit of a fine line of over communicating or bothering them. But for the most part, I'm pretty comfortable with whatever you want to do. I tested that as well. This was years ago. When I was brand new to inflatable office, I tested that a long time ago. I don't remember kind of how it all went down, but basically what we do is when the quote comes through, or sometimes they'll go quote then to contracted but not finish. We just make sure that we follow up with that person before the end of the day. I've kind of told Cassie to try and be as fast as she can, right? Because urgency is always better to catch them, but not be too fast, right? Because they could have just whatever, the phone could have rang and they picked up their phone and then we're bugging them, you know what I mean? But yeah, so we try to catch those no matter what by the end of the day, so say by 5 o'clock that day. And we have very, very good close rates with everything. I mean, the only time I can really off the top of my head think of when we don't close one of those is if they had some weird thing where they're like, oh, the party's moving or just found out, blah, 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 whatever. or they found a cheaper option, right? Oh, I went with somebody else. I don't have Cassie do this. I just go do this. But whenever I see that message come through that we went to somebody else, I go and try and find out who it was. Because I want to know why. You know what I mean? Because usually they just say we went with somebody else. So I want to know: is it price? Is it selection? Were we slow on the draw? That is almost always either price, or in my area, pretty much every other company does Friday to Sunday rentals where I don't. And so they're like, well, we paid the same price and we get it for 2 days. It's a no-brainer. Like, cool. If that's your way you want to do it, then I'm not your guy, because we don't do the all weekend thing.
I feel like when I say like, let me know if I can help you in any way or something, versus saying like, what were you wanting to rent or something like that, I feel like that kind of brushes them off to not really that. It's not that you want to engage in conversation and get them booked. It's more or less like, hey, go do this on your own if you need help. Some people, especially in our area, they want you to hold their hand and just do it for them. So if you just say, hey, let me know if you have any questions about it. I don't know why in my area, like I said, a lot of times I don't get answers back from it. But
yeah, actually, Brooke was texting me that today. Brooke and I were talking about that a little bit today. So we've got it. We'll change we're going to change. Brooke's already said she's already tweaked the script to, because she felt like she was getting ghosted. I was like, I don't know. It works. It's working great in Cleveland and it works wonderful in Louisiana. So I don't know. But I do think that's a good point though, where it's like, if you go in with like can I help you? They're like, it's almost like, I mean, I worked in face-to-face customer service for a long time. With the personality that you guys see, right? This is like this is me. So I it would interact with customers and clients in a much different way than anybody you've ever seen ever at a shoe store, right? I just go talk to them like they're regular fucking people, because they kind of are, right? And I would get great feedback on that, but I'd always get on my employees' asses, because I'd be like, dude, what are you doing? They're like, oh, I already asked them if they needed anything. They said they were just looking. I'm like, in what world do you, like, you're just fulfilling the obligation. Like, go over there and like strike up a conversation with them. Tell them you like their purse. Like, I don't care what you go do, but like, fulfilling the obligation of talking to the customer is not what we're here to do. Like, we're here to make a connection so we can freaking sell them something, right? So yeah, that's why my script for that is, what one is it? Got them right here. So hold on. Yeah, so basically, oh no, this is a different script. But basically, I try to cram as much information into the message as I can, while still keeping it brief or not, fluffy. Like, I want it to be very utilitarian, where it's like, I want the information to be able to get their information from them. And then I want them to understand that, like, we're here and we're ready to help you book. Like, we're not, like, you are not bugging us.
I had a thought about just asking customers, clients, just how can I help you, or something very surface level. For background, a long time ago, I was in retail sales too. I worked at the Men's Warehouse for a long time, and I won a lot of competitions by selling the most custom suits in the state. Now I'm in financial services, so I'm basically selling myself. But what I've found most recently is that people often don't know what they want. So I try to ask a question that's one shell level up from what they asked. So I mean, at the clothing store, they come in and say, I need a tuxedo. And you can start there. You can say, where are you going, man? What do you actually need? Maybe they don't know exactly what they need. Hey, I'm having a party for a 6-year-old. They don't even know that this sick obstacle course exists. But if I didn't ask what they were doing or who I was doing it for, I wouldn't know what to suggest. So I just assume that they don't know everything there is in the world to offer. People don't know everything that I know how to do in the financial services world. So if I only go by what they say right off the get-go, I'm going to miss out on half of what's important to that person.
Yes, good.
Yeah, I usually
One level up.
I usually Justin, mute your shit, Justin. I usually ask them like that's kind of, and this could be wrong, but I've noticed one of the things that I ask everybody is, what age group are you looking to entertain? Like, because that's the biggest thing. So, like if it's like 6 and under, 7 and under, just a combo. If it's anywhere from 3 to 4-year-old up to teens, I'll recommend a slide. And I'm kind of pushing myself to almost tell them what they want to rent. A lot of times people just you're right about that. Like, a lot of people just don't know what we want a bounce house. We want an inflatable. Well,
You're the
then I
one
say,
with the experience.
yeah, and like then you ask, do you want a bounce house, a combo, or a slide? Then you just completely fuck their brain up. Like they're like, oh, like
Yeah,
just tell them, hey, I got a slide. Like it'll work, perfect for that age.
Yeah.
Then,
What's a combo? Yeah, I try to be very pointed. Like I'll just tell them what they want. Like a better version of that would be like, it's probably a phone call, right? And they're like, well, I've got these kids. Like I got their 8-year-olds. I'm gonna have 7 8-year-olds at the house, right? I'm like, oh yeah, perfect. We're gonna do the Pirate Fortress. It's the best one. Like absolutely, it's big and right. And then as they don't know what they want until you tell them what they want, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, no, I was looking at the tropical one. Fantastic. I thought we didn't know what we wanted, right? But as soon as I make the decision for them, then they boom make the decision. So that's why what I was talking about earlier. I said, sorry, I'm getting distracted here by the little blonde one. I was saying that you just go straight in like that and basically make them make the decision. Oh yeah, so that's the script is awesome. What was your favorite inflatable from the website, right? It just assumes that they have one. It makes them go make a decision. They've got to tell you what their favorite one was, right? Or they'll go around and they'll say, well, I'm not sure, I need help. Cool, we'll help you. But like, you just make them make the decision.
And it trains your customers, clients to just get to you with that. I mean, the second time they call you, they're going to say, I party 13-year-olds, and they're just going to expect you to have the answer. And then you name your price. This is what it costs to do the thing that I suggest is the best, and I'm the expert. You called me for a reason. And as soon as you get that rolling, that's your reputation.
Yeah, I mean, you make it easy on them. That's what I always love to do. Is just I get that a lot. Back when I used to answer the phone, I would get that a lot. Like, wow, I can't believe how easy this was. Like, you answered on the second ring, and then you're so helpful. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm here to do. I'm trying to make sales, man.
Have I ever taken more than a day to call you back?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. All right. So, yeah, Mike over on Facebook, Michael Harden said, just got a church event this weekend simply because we answered the phone. Yeah, they're like, wow, I can't believe you answered. I've called. You're the 6th person I've called, and you're the first one that's answered. Yeah, boy. Yeah, so I've got my scripts here if you guys want them. You guys want them? And these are from my event hawk, so like from high level. If you guys don't want them, like we won't. I don't.
If you want to do some fun exercises, we could pretend to be customers and talk to each other.
Oh man, you guys knock yourselves out. Those I hated
you,
those
Justin.
when I worked in sales.
Huh?
I said I hated those even when I worked in sales.
It's fun.
Tell me the pen. Oh God.
I got you, Justin. I'll act like I'm waiting from you.
You would have just loved all the door knocking training that I had to do.
Oh man, I was born and raised in the carnival, brother.
All that was role playing. All that was role playing. No, thank you.
I used to have a boss like, oh yeah, it's slow right now. Let's do some role play. I'm like, oh God.
No, because all that ever did was make people sound super robotic. And
that's how I sound on the phone.
Man, as soon as I dropped that persona of trying to feel like I had to be the most professional dude out there, as soon as you just start saying, hey man, That's
you've
sick.
never heard me on the
And you
phone.
just talk to people like they're people.
Yeah,
It's
I can't.
fine.
Yeah, I try
You know
to
how
teach
you
that.
upsell? You know how I upsell a damage waiver? When people tell me, they're like, "Oh, what's this damage waiver?" I literally say that it's literally there if you have a chair or something like that, and your fat cousin breaks it. We won't charge you. You know how many you know how many times people laugh when I just say that? Like they're just like, "Oh yeah, that fat ass." They're literally thinking of like a specific fat cousin every single time.
Yeah,
Like
you put
it's
the
just like just little stuff like that. That's how I upsell my damage waiver. When people call me, like I have a couple things to say. Obviously, when you first started, I like how you're saying there's two sides to sales, and there really is two different types of sales, and it's two different sales tactics. But there's also like when you become a good salesman, you know how to do both. Read the customer and what you can do at them. Oh, you know what I mean? You live in a rich neighborhood and you got like somebody says they have a fucking in-ground pool. Oh, money just goes up. You know what I mean? I hear there's certain key factors that I know when people have money, they don't have money. And when I'll start trying to do add-ons, when I'll talk to a person more because I know it's worth their time. But then here's another thing I know you didn't mention. Like you're talking about, oh, you asked them if they want a combo or a bounce house with a slide, bounce house. Fuck that. I got a $200 bounce house and I got a $350 bounce house. It's better, it's bigger, it's got a slide. Which one, you know what I mean, for your kids? And then right off the rip, you're gonna know that like you're gonna be like, yeah, I just want the $200 one, man. I'm not, you know what I mean? And then if they go right for that 350, they want that, that's what they want. And then it's like, okay, I got that fished, you know what I mean? Now let's see if I can what else I can get out of this. You know what I mean? Is there something else I can get out of them? Can I upsell this? Even with schools and stuff, they only want to do like a bounce house, like for all these kids. I'm like, you're gonna entertain all those kids? You got 50 kids, 100 kids, you're only gonna entertain them with a bounce house? I'm like, listen, I have these packages with games. You're getting the bounce house. Why don't you get a little bit of a bigger bounce house? And I'll give you a discount on this game package. And now I get like $300 more out of them. That like it's the art of the upsell, but then you also got to know when there's churches that are trying to ask you for discounts. Like you don't try to upsell the church that's asking you for discounts because it's just, you know what I mean? They're just gonna hang up on you. And then it's things you learn over time. I also I feel like sales in general and marketing, like you do your marketing so you can get as much numbers. When I grew up in a carnival, what I learned, everybody asked how many people, you can only find this out the next day. How many people were in the gates yesterday? What was the counts? What were the numbers for yesterday? How many people were in the day? And so then you basically know you only have so many of those people that actually went through that fairgrounds, went in front of your little tent. And then you were able to talk to them. And then you got to minus all the time that you were taking a piss or eating a sandwich or something like that because you weren't in that tent and subtract it. Where it's like a website's there 24/7 making money. It's standing there. But at the end of the day, it could be standing there visual, but there's nobody going to the website, it's not doing things. So the real thing is getting numbers to the website, getting phone calls. And then over time, you'll start learning. At the end of the day, you have so much inventory. If you can get those volume and calls up, you're gonna be able to sell and you'll start making money no matter what. So at the end of the day, it's like a volume game. But then like the art of the upsell, art of closing, I always end on questions.
yes.
Like people call me, they're like, what do you need? You know what I mean? Or they're like, what do you I need a tent. You know what I mean, for a party. I'm like, I literally just asked them how many people. And they're like, like 40 something people. I'm like, okay, I have a 20 by 20 package. It comes with 48 chairs and 6 tables. And you'll save more money doing it a la carte. And then if they're picky, and then I tell them the price, $5.99. And if they're picky, they'll be like, oh, well, is it round tables? Is it this? And I'm like, okay, well, that's not the package, but yes, we do have round tables. Here's all my pricing. We can go through it. And then it's like, what we're like, or the other thing is when I look at bounce houses, I literally ask them, because a lot of the times it comes through Event Hub. So they're on your frickin' website. Like,
Right.
you know, like, so you just ask them, oh, were you on our website? And they'll say yes. Or I love when they say no, but they came through the form. It's like, it's just whatever. And I explained to them, like, okay, I'll send you a link and stuff, and stuff. But it's like, which one did you want? And most of the time they know what's in their mind. And if they say, like Nick says, you don't know, just here, this is what you want. You got this many, how many kids do you have? You ask them about the vibe of their party a little bit. Immediately just sell to them. Like I don't take no for an answer. If I start getting if I get a tent, or if I get people that like, oh, I need to go talk to my husband or something like that, I'll still try to upsell them just so they have more things to think about, like, and want to try and call me back for questions. Like, I'll give you discounts when you get a bounce house with a tent and you get extra time. Like, that's a curveball into like getting them thinking, just because now they start, like, they're already thinking about getting a bounce house from 2 different companies. There's all these other companies and quotes that they got on there. And then half the time just saying that, when they're doing both of those, they'll just book with me because I have both. And yeah, that's my TED talk.
Thanks for coming out.
I got a question, Nick.
Yeah. What's up, Jared?
Did you get that croquet set that lady was asking for?
Not the croquet set. No, I did get. I now have cornhole, Connect Four, and giant Jenga, and those all were basically kind of the same thing. I think
Figure if people are asking for it, quote them whatever it costs to buy it and say you bought that. Now I get to rent it out for free.
I've done that. I'm trying to remember what I did that with. I think I had, like, I started with 20 chairs or something, and like they were rented out, and some lady was like, "Yeah, I need 8 chairs or something," and yeah, I literally put them on her ticket and went and bought them. Like, just go buy them.
Thanks,
Well,
lady.
I had those. I had 2 of those games in the inventory already, because I was going to buy them, and then like it just slipped my mind. I'd already put them on the website, and then a booking came through. The lady had called, and so then Cassie calls me. He's like, yeah, I just got off the phone with a lady that says she wants to rent the Connect Four and the Jenga. What is she talking about?" I'm like, "Oh, when does she want it? I need to order it from Amazon, but yeah, when does she want it?" She's like, 2 weeks. I'm like, "All right, yep, put it through." And then I went on Amazon and bought them.
So I had a quote come in for a giant beer festival, like 100 vendors, all different breweries and stuff in Buffalo, and they wanted like 2 tents that were like 40 by 120 or 60 by 120, one or the other. And I don't have that shit by any means. So I was like, okay, how much is it to buy them? Is it feasible to send them a quote and try and like pocket, you know what I mean? See if we can do that. No, it's not. So what I did is I just sent them a message saying, here's a company that can handle your stuff and probably be able to do it. But what are you doing for entertainment for your festival? And then I basically listed out a whole bunch of stuff, and I ended up doing a $3,000 job of just games and stuff like that for this beer fest and stuff like that. So being relentless, talking about marketing. They're doing it this year because they're trying to, because it's their first year back after COVID, doing this event. And then next year they might even possibly spend the extra money to do the custom designs, like custom dunk tanks and stuff. Like, I have crazy stuff on my website, like custom beer pong, custom dunk tanks, custom cornhole. I've done multiple things for multiple people, and I charge $12.50 for a custom dunk tank.
So you make it to where it matches their company logo?
Yeah, I don't know if I find a picture. I did one for you literally just have the banner. I did one for the Chicklets Cup, and Body Armor sponsored it. And what I did is I had the banner, so like Barstool Sports and Chicklets Cup, and then I had the whole red dunk tank had decals to make it kind of look like a Powerade bottle with Powerade logos, and then I had a custom steel target made with a printing on it to make it look like a Powerade bottle, and that's what you're throwing at.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got pictures of it on my website and stuff. Somebody just asked about what hotel you're staying at. There's 2 hotels right off the thruway, right by my warehouse. If you look up Just In Case Party Rentals, it's right on Clinton Street, or no, it's on Dingens. It's like it's right off the thruway. It's like less than 2 minutes from my shop. They're super cheap there. That's where I'm telling everybody to recommend to go.
Yeah, I've looked them all up, but I can't remember what I've been looking
That or if you want to spend do like a 30-minute drive, you can stay at the casino in Niagara Falls.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, how many let's see, how many people do we have? We have 31 in the Zoom. And then how many's over on
We should talk about the course.
My Facebook's broken. Yeah, I was gonna ask I want to kind of ask the room if you're in the party rental industry and you're, let's say like this, if you've been less than 1 year, like you're on year 1 or less, give me a whatever, dude, a thumbs up emoji or something over in the chat. I'm interested to see kind of the experience level of everybody in the room. I want to kind of get some talk. So I shot a YouTube video today, like an interview style YouTube video today. Yes, the pirate flag is acceptable. I shot a YouTube video today, just an interview with a guy that's getting into the business, but he's coming in hot. He's investing, 6 figures plus, if from going from non-existent to 6 figures plus coming in the business. So we shot a video. I think it's going to be really good. And one of his questions was something about, I don't remember what the question was, but I basically told him, I said, when you go on a rental, you're going to have, there's like 27 things that go wrong. One of those 27 things go wrong at almost every single drop off. Like it is, I just named a couple. I'm like, it's a gated community and they didn't give you the gate code. It's, the gate is locked. They don't answer the door. There's like all these different things. And he was like, oh my God, dude, I need the list of all 27 things. And I'm like, that's a good video right there. I'll get all the 27 things together and I'll make a resource for everybody to put it out there. But I kind of wanted to know from everybody in the room. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then Facebook is not very responsive. Facebook. Yeah, not very
Nick,
so 7-ish people at least put it in the comments that they're a year or newer in the party rental industry. So I want to know kind of what questions you guys have. Like, it's hard to remember, what it was like back then because you're in the middle of operating and everything. So what questions do you guys have? I know I'm totally putting you on the spot. You guys can use the chat if you want to. But you're more than welcome to unmute. This is very safe.
How do you rent? How do you roll a bounce house?
Yeah, not that. Don't
can
ask
I
that
actually, Nick, can I actually ask you a question with you had said that the damage waiver you just throw on and you don't even say anything about it if you're like just making a quote for the customer. Is that how you handle that?
Yeah, so basically what I've told Cassie, I said, any person that calls in, because I don't have it auto set to add it if they auto book, if they're booking on the website. I tested it for a day and my conversion went, could not, causation is not correlation. However, I was like panicked because I've told you I'm a volume guy. I'm like, I can't fuck it up. I got to have rentals coming through. So I went back and quickly turned that back off to where online it doesn't auto add it. But I told Cassie, anybody that calls in, just auto add it. And I don't know. And I told her if she wants to tell people that she's doing it, cool. I don't care. If not, I still don't care. But just kind of like, I don't know how it's more work, right? To call in a book. So I'm like, yeah, just add that. That way we kind of get a little bit of a bump for, booking it.
So how has their response been when you've done that?
I don't book the slides that often. I don't answer the phone that often. But the couple that I've done didn't say anything. Yeah, they didn't say anything.
Never once.
Mm-mm. And a couple of the times, like I kind of itemized it as like, all right, so we got you at the, whatever, the Pirate Fortress, 270, and then delivery fee is free because you're within the delivery radius, and then the damage waiver was 37, so that means you're total to whatever, and they didn't say anything.
Because we put like optional or we highly recommend, I should say. I
Oh,
don't know.
highly
I
recommend.
almost feel like not saying it,
Yeah.
but then I feel like I'm being sneaky about it.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit sneaky for sure. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where it's just kind of like, I don't know. I just felt like, look, if they're gonna call in, we're gonna add that. So I told Cassie to add that, and it's been fine. It's been totally fine.
And that's another thing. I'm trying to make that mandatory for schools. Like I've almost given them no option. I haven't fully like pressed it onto them, but 9 times out of 10, I'm doing because they don't pay deposits because they want to pay in full with a check. So I always include it every time.
Yeah, I'm with that too. I just did a booking for a school that's 4 water slides, and they requested to have it off so they could get under the budget. And I obliged with that, right? Because I'm like, dude, I've done how many school rentals have I done in my career with before a damage waiver existed? Like a gazillion. I'm like, it's not like it's a make or break, but definitely though, it's like you're gonna have that many kids on your freaking units. It's a smart thing to add for them. For them, it's a smart thing to add for them.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Do y'all have your surcharge on first starting out? Or,
For what? For mileage?
no, for processing fees. Like, because I'm gonna be using Square for my payment method,
Oh,
and they charge a processing fee. So I'm like, do I have my surcharge fee on?
Nope.
I do, in the bounce house business, I do not. Basically, what I did was when I started my website, I just went in and raised all the prices. I think 5% to offset the 3% credit card processing fee. In my Christmas light business, I didn't make anybody pay it this year. The year prior, I had, and it was just I don't know. I just didn't like it. I felt cheap, I guess you could say. I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
The
bet.
longer the longer the chart, the more charges in a list, the scarier the customer gets. So I've come to figure that out. They'll start questioning, like, "What's this charge? What's that charge?" So yeah, just include it in the price.
One more question.
Well, you have one more question?
Yeah, do you guys charge for like this is a silly one, but for the water hose use? Or do you have that on hand for the customer, or do you like have them have their own?
Oh, so I go basically anytime I buy a new water unit, I just go. I have multiple in the warehouse. I just go buy a couple every time I'm there. But I just go to Harbor Freight and buy their 50-foot hoses. They're $20, and so we have a 50-foot hose on every water unit. It just makes life so much easier because then you don't have to freaking finagle with it and hook it all on. You're gonna wear out the ones that screw on always break anyways, right? So it's just easier. I just do it for ease. It's like $20 per slide, no big deal.
Finish. Sorry.
Yeah, it rarely is long enough to get over to their spigot though. It's just so we can marry up their garden hose with it.
Okay, got you.
If you go over to Costco right now, there's 100 footers on sale for $22.
Oh dang!
I just went and bought 4 of them.
That's cheap.
Because I would probably cut them if I was to do that. I'd probably cut them into thirds and just do.
I do. I cut them into 35 feet.
Yeah.
And then whatever's left over.
Freddie, what was your first week like being a boss? Like a
talk about that?
Huh?
I don't even want to talk about that. You guys are gonna be disappointed in me.
Why? You went back?
Yeah.
They gave you a raise?
Yeah.
There you go.
How
They
much?
give you a new boss too. That's not going to be a smart ass.
Yeah.
Nice.
They gave me the store I wanted. It's a $500,000 store. I got my it's like maybe like half closer to my house. It's just yeah. And
That's
then the shop's a mess right now, so my goal is I'm gonna clean it up and in 4 months ask for another raise.
There you go. There you go.
That's what happens when you get when the corporate man figures out that you're not relying on them, then they start
Yeah.
negotiating with you.
Yeah, I mean, I quit based off emotion, obviously. Hold on, baby. And when I got home, you know, I made promises to my wife that I have to keep. So
No, I know.
But-
I respect it, dude. I respect it.
Yeah.
And I said that last week too when I was talking about it. I'm like, you're gonna quit your job and then, you know, either they're gonna tell you to F off or they're gonna try and triple your salary. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. I respect that, dude.
but this will be my last year, definitely, unless they just keep giving. So we'll see. But this is probably gonna be my last year.
Yeah.
Well, I
Freddie,
say that's a
thanks.
win.
You got Wesley trying to quit his job now, Freddie.
If I'm not gonna lie, it felt good for the half a week. It felt really.
Yeah,
He
that's what-
idolizes you, man. That's all he
And
talks
it-
about
it
is
felt-
Freddie.
It felt
Freddie.
good to tell my. It felt good to tell my regional that, nope, it's not happening. I want this, or you're not having me. It felt really good.
yeah, that's cool, dude. That's cool. Yeah, that it kind of same thing happened to me. I quit and then got talked into staying the first time I quit. And so yeah, I didn't get as much time as you though. I was only like probably 4 hours awake and then 4 hours in the morning. Maybe I didn't think 4 hours, probably 2 hours in the morning. So I got like 6 hours of freedom before they freaking reeled me back in. But then after that it was over. I was just like, I've tasted it, dude. Like I tasted the blood in the water. Like I have to go now. Like it made it
Yeah.
worse.
That's where I'm at right now. Like I sit there and I'm like, I don't have to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just kind of like zoning out, like, yeah, like you taste the blood, like this is easy without it.
Yeah.
Like I don't need you,
Bro, but if you're
Bro,
hungry,
it's food.
if you're hungry enough to run a business and be successful, it's just like anything I've come to figure out in life. It's the same thing as you wonder how, like, when you buy your first house, like, how do people take on this mortgage payment? And it's going to be impossible. I don't know how they do it. Like, you make it happen. Like, I feel like if you just, I'm not trying to talk you into nothing, but I feel like if you just commit to it, like, you'll make it work.
He's turning this into get Freddie to quit 2.0. If you keep talking, it's
No,
gonna
no.
happen, Freddie.
No.
That's funny.
Freddie, I see it as a win. You're making more money. You're in a better location.
Yeah, dude.
So
for
that's a
sure.
win.
Yeah.
You know, you got your balls back, so you're good.
Somebody asked if they charge a fee if they use the wet dry units.
Yeah, that's
Wet.
me. That's
I
Kurt.
don't-
That's me.
Yeah,
I do.
I charge the same price for both.
Same.
Okay.
And so, because a lot of people they'll be like, oh, I want it dry because I think it's gonna be cold, and then it's like a hot ass day, and they're like, oh, I want to do it wet. So instead of doing that transaction and trying all that, like, yo, shove a hose in that bitch. Like,
It's awkward. Yeah, and then you show up and they're like, oh no, this is dry for sure. We're not having water. And then you go show up to pick it up and it's soaked and there's like hookers and
they're trying to get away on you and rent it for a cheaper price. Don't even give them that option.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I used to do like this is a while ago. So I think my dry was 180 and my wet was 220 probably. And I did that for not even one full season. It was just like, oh my God, this is like exhausting. And so then it's just like I just put them all now. Everything's 235 now because prices have gone up, but it's just they're all 235.
Lucky in my city, nobody's doing this here in my city. I'm in Battle Creek, Michigan, so I'm planning on having my price a bit higher.
Yep. Market dictates the price. That's for dang sure. But if you're in Michigan, like your price will be way higher than mine anyway because we have like a long season and tons of competition. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we don't have not a very long season and not a lot of competition.
Yeah. You have like 6 days to rent out water slides up there, bro.
Right.
Are you close to Flint?
Yep. Actually, I am pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I wonder what the Flint water does to bounce houses.
Man, that's a good question. I'm not that close. I'm not that close. I'm about 2 hours from Detroit. So
Let's see. I thought there was another. Oh yeah, Brian asked if you hand a paper contract to the customer. I tested that as like their receipt. They don't care. They don't give a rip. I used to once I had no, I think I did this my whole entire career up until now. We just barely stopped doing it. But I used to print them all out so that we had the contract. So when we showed up, like we would just know like what we're doing, what they owe, that kind of stuff. And then that way too, like, so we keep everything organized on a big Google spreadsheet. And so all my employees have access to the Google spreadsheet. And so I go in there. Actually, Cassie does it now, thank God. But Cassie goes in and puts all the information from the rentals in. So the unit, or so what they owe, the unit, the blower, the tarp. It's probably easier if I just show it to you. But every now and then, like, you fat finger the keyboard and you get the address wrong, and the guys call you like, I'm at 16475, and then I pull it up and I'm like, no, it's 1465. There's no 7, dude. And so that having the contract with them in the truck avoided that fiasco. But I stopped doing it. It's just a kind of a waste of toner and paper, especially when you start to get busy and you're sending, as many units as we're sending. It's just like, that's a lot of paper, dude. I'm gonna save it.
I like that I'm a very, like, almost eco-friendly business. Like, I really have no waste. I barely have. The only real waste that I have is like freaking like the fact that I drive a car that's not electric, and the freaking boxes and stuff like that I get from when I buy shit. But other than that,
Yeah, we don't
much
waste water.
throw out.
We don't waste water on the slides just for entertainment. Of course not.
Okay, so there you go. So this is the spreadsheet that the guys all have access to. And so there we go. So yeah, so this is a little bit antiquated. I've updated it a little bit, but so then this is the payment type. The new one has the balance right here. This old one has the balance way over here. But and then the obstacle course, what blower it takes, the tarp that it goes with, and the tarps are all color coded. Their name, their address, their phone number, and then this is a super sweet little link I made. That took me like 45 minutes to build this because I didn't know what I was doing. I had to watch some crazy YouTube video. But so if they click this link from their phones, whatever address is typed in right here automatically opens up on Google Maps. It's freaking awesome. And then this is the length of the rental is right here. And so all the guys, this is how the entire company runs. This is how they load trailers. This is how they drop everything off. This is how they get to all the different freaking places. Like, so this is like the ultimate form that runs the jump off. But that way we don't have to have those paper contracts with us at all times. If you guys want this, I can give it to you.
There's not like an app for IO that has all that information, or your driver's app?
Yeah, you have if I have the workers app, so if they're logged into the workers, they can go see all the shit in there. But it's just like this drop schedule thing I've just had for so long. It's just like,
Yeah, it's interesting.
yeah, it works good. Because I used to just build it on a regular ass spreadsheet and then print it back when it was like not that busy, like no big deal. And then it started getting like 3 pages long, 4 pages long. So I'm like, what am I doing, dude? I can just put this on the internet. And then this is how the guys pick their shifts too. I just send, after Cassie makes this, I just send a text to the group chat and say, schedule's up. And then the boys go and put in all their own names and all the shifts they want. I don't even schedule anybody. So here is the link to this. Whoops. There we go. There's a link to that example one. Facebook, I'll give it to you too. I don't know if anybody's still over on Facebook. Oh yeah, Bailey said she wants it. Coming right up, Bailey. Boom, boom. There we go. And then Gina said we've had to bring flashlights and picking up units by the time we get to the flash unit. It's dark already, and most of the time we forget to have the flashlights. What? I don't get it. We can see your comments, Gina. Yes. Do we have to use our phone? I guess so. Try not to do pickups at night, dude. Pickups at night below. Ooh. Leave that puppy dog.
I had gotten some like headgear.
Time was 7.
I had gotten some like headgear thing from Amazon that came in right before like a pitch black pickup.
Yeah, like it'll happen in fall. Like still busy. We're still busy in like October. Yeah, September, October. And so if you're flipping units, but that was like, I don't know why we were picking up units in the dark. I think that's when I killed the pickups that night. Like they're trying to pick up units at dark in September. It was stupid. I'm like, we'll just leave everything overnight. It's not that big of a deal.
The craziest unit, I saw somebody ask what's the craziest thing they ever set up. The craziest thing that I've ever set up was a tent. It wasn't even my tent. I did it for a stagehand union. And this shit was it was over a chemical vat in Niagara Falls because this one shit smells. It's for an Iran pack. What they do is they make cardboard. And the way they do it is there's like a bunch of microbes in this giant fucking vat, and it eats a bunch of shit. And then once it's done, like basically they shit cardboard or the main ingredients or something like that. But like the smell fucking smells like shit. So that's why Niagara Falls kind of smells in certain areas. You'll get like wafts of like crap, and it comes from this one plant. So they like, it doesn't really happen as much anymore because what they did is they basically encased it with a giant tent and then put like filters on it. So like filtering the air constantly gets coming out of it and containing it now. But we put a tent around it. And we had to wear like monitors and all this crazy shit, like freaking like as if the levels got too high and all that stuff. And then like it was crazy. It was like, yeah, it was nuts. I was just answering a call for the union. Like,
I want to touch on that. We've done a crazy one. Wesley signed us up to drop off this combo out in the country, way out, and it's behind this church. And you pull up in the woods behind this church, and it's a bunch of sheds from like Lowe's, and it was a cult. And these people lived up there in this community, and it was nothing but dirt and mud. We set it up, and all these kids, no shoes, like I don't even know. It was the weirdest thing, like a full-blown like cult out in the middle of nowhere. And it was it was the strangest thing we'd ever set up at.
That's
creepy, bro.
I got a call. The reason I asked, I got a call from a lady last week on Tuesday, I think, and she was like, "Hey, can you do a setup for us? We had a residential facility, blah blah blah." So I was like, "Oh, okay." In my mind, I took that as meaning like a group home setting, foster care setting, something like that. So I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. Give me the address, give me the information. We book it." And so the night before I'm about to go, I was like, "Oh, let me just look up just to see kind of distance where this is going to be." No distance charge, so I knew it wasn't too far, but I was like, all right, it was like 14 miles or something, so it was all right. So I looked and I was like, man, I told my wife, I said, "I think we're going to set up at the prison." And no kidding, I pull up, it's prison, barbed wire for a juvenile justice system, the juvenile, Department of Corrections. And I was just like, all right, this is crazy. So yeah, we had to be monitored everywhere we go. We couldn't, it was, I don't know, that was like super crazy. But hey, they were, good customers, took care of the equipment, wasn't nothing wrong, nothing damaged. So I just was like blown away by that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I have one, but I feel like mine pales in comparison to all y'all. So I'm not even gonna tell mine. You're gonna be like bored. trying to get these sales scripts finished here. I'm gonna kind of highlight what they are.
I just know Cindy. What was the other one? Kevin? No, Kevin's the owner.
Yeah, Kevin and Cindy, yeah, at HEC. Oh, that's not one. I'm so confused. I'm like, why do I have a third one, a fourth one? I'm like, I know there's only three.
So who's going to come to that? Who's coming to the convention? Who's coming to the class over in Buffalo? Anybody in here thinking about it? Anybody on Facebook?
What are your date? What are the dates again?
25th, 26th, 27th.
Okay. And it was if you bring someone else, it's like half off or something like that.
It's just $100 for each day for any guest.
Okay, gotcha.
I think we're doing up to 2 guests, I believe. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
Two is probably fine. It just the room gets freaking super full, and it's like you don't need 2 there. You know what I mean? Like if you have a co-owner and a manager, like just pick one.
Gotcha.
Whole world doesn't need to come. Yeah, because we did last year I did a big Christmas light one at my warehouse. We had quite a few people that brought the co-owner, and I felt like most of the pairs there was one person that was like and then the other person was mega engaged. There you go. I put those 3 sales scripts that I really like into the chats there. So if you guys want them. Oh, that's the sheds, bro. They live in those sheds? No way.
No, that was I think that picture is from Derek at the jail.
Oh yeah, there's barbed wire.
No, Wesley's showing it to the screen.
Oh yeah, I don't know how I didn't see that. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Those little sheds, they literally live in them, bro. It was weird. I was actually scared. He was like, "You scared?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm scared." Like these motherfuckers are weird, bro.
I haven't seen it.
Like at one point, everybody disappeared into this little building while we were picking up, and I was like, "Where did it?" Show it again, Wesley. Justin didn't see it. I was like, "Where are they all going?" And they're just non-existent to the world, like just trampling through the mud barefooted, like just going. It was weird, dude. Look at these sheds, like,
Oh yeah,
bro, it was
yeah.
so.
Country pumpkin.
It was so nasty. We were like, "Do y'all want this tarp?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, Dad, we'll make good use of this tarp somewhere." I'm like, "Good, keep it. It's disgusting." Like,
We'll make good use.
yeah,
That's
We can
crazy.
use this. We can patch a roof with this.
it was wild, dude. I told him we'd never do one there again, ever. It was weird.
That's hilarious. I'm trying to think of some other crazy shit. I remember, I shit you not, dude. I remember one time when I first started, like this actually tested my patience. I cuss out a customer like 2 times a year. So, like this, I can't believe I didn't cuss this dude out. This is like years 1, but I don't think I cussed anybody out the first year because I cared more. But no, seriously. This dude, I pulled up to this dude to pick up this bounce house, this water slide. This shit was brand new. Brand new. It was the second time it ever went out. And then I'm picking it up the next morning to flip it. And the dude's like, "Oh, you left it overnight and all that. I thought we're gonna have the kids play on it again. We're gonna blow it back up." And like, I'm like, I can't do that. Like, we're gonna pick it up. It's going on another thing. Like, you guys never said anything. And he's like, "Oh, well, this shit smells and all this crazy stuff." He was saying all this crazy fucking shit. I'm like, "Yo, what the like?" Like, I was like, "How is this? This thing's brand new." I had to cool myself. He was super fucking aggressive. I almost wanted to tell him like, "Listen, dude, like you're fucking delusional." But yeah, he was just still drunk from the night before.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, somebody
Let me ask.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask a question. I'm always curious since I'm a newbie. Do you guys call, and say, or do you coordinate with the customer like, "Hey, I'm coming to pick up at this time," or do you say, "This is the time I'm picking up," and then when you get there, do you always ring the doorbell, or do you just, text them, "Hey, I'll be there in 10 minutes," and when you get there, you walk straight to your unit? How do you guys handle that?
Yeah, we do. So on Fridays, after we've got the whole drop schedule all made and everything's dialed in, we usually wait till like 1 p.m. ish, 2 p.m. ish on Friday. then Cassie texts all the clients their exact drop-off time, their exact pickup time. So we're going to drop off at 9:45. We'll be there tomorrow to pick up at 7:15 a.m. You get free overnight, whatever. So then all the people have the exact 2 times. And then when the guys get there, they just walk and go grab it. Like, no worries. And I'm rare in that. Most people offer that, not offer that, but tell them a window, right? We'll be there between 9 and 10, or we'll be there between 9 and 11, like whatever. We're weird. We actually tell them the exact time we're going to be there. It's just the way I've always done it. I don't know. This is the way I've always done it. And then, but yeah, on pickup, it's like, yeah, we just go grab it.
I tell people the day before what we're doing. As far as booking process goes, if they want a specific time, I charge them $100. If they want it anywhere between 7 in the morning till noon, we'll deliver it. Then it's just normal fee. If I charge you the overnight fee, I'm not picking it to the next day afternoon. I do all my deliveries. I'll do other pickups or something like that I left personally and didn't give them the overnight. You know what I mean? But as far as that goes, I really try not to do pickups too early, because a lot of times everything's just trash. They don't have the time to go out there and clean it. Especially tents. You never really want to pick up a tent before like 12, 1 o'clock. Especially if the party was the day before. Flipping tents is not the way to go. There's just like literally a party was in there before, and people that rent tents party hard most of the time.
I think it's situational, really, because last year was our first year, and we really busted our ass to pick up same day. Like if they were going out on Saturday, we were like, damn, like we gotta go right back in the afternoon and pick up. Now it's like, fuck that. We want to drink a beer in the afternoon. We'll call everybody that's willing if it works in our favor, not there. Like, and then we'll say, hey, are y'all cool with us just leaving it until the morning time? We'll pick it up in the morning. Most of the time, they're fine with it.
That, but anyway, so this is the thing.
Yeah.
I do that no matter what, Wesley, because I want to make sure that
Hey, whoa.
Or not Wesley, I'm sorry, fucking Dave. I'm looking at Wesley's fucking shit for some reason. Like it's up where I'm showing his face and you're talking. I don't know what's going on. But either way,
go ahead, Steve.
what I'm saying is I want to do that shit either way, because it makes the current day shorter for the pickups, and it makes the next day when you're actually doing the deliveries, you can always tag those pickups onto the schedule. So it's more efficient in your you save a lot of money in your delivery times and your scheduling. You can just add them onto the routes. Your days get more efficient and like less long. It doesn't go into the night as much.
Hey, Derek, I have a question for you.
Yep. What you got, Freddie?
What are your policies as far as pickups and overnights and stuff like that?
So we have an overnight fee. We've only charged it, I think, 2 times. We got one coming up just because someone like deliberately wants it. We always try to leave it overnight if we could. And we recently started that probably about a month ago, because we realized we were dropping off early in the morning, and then pretty close to what Justin was saying was we drop off all day, and then we kind of hang out. Then it was like, oh, okay, now we got to go and start picking up again, and we lose our Saturday evenings, so we were like, you know what, screw that. We want to leave it overnight as long as, it's a secure backyard, blah, blah, blah. And that's the way we lean towards, and that's what we did for like Easter. For Easter, because I'm a weekend warrior right now, and we're a small shop, and so I told everybody on Easter, I was like, hey, we're gonna drop off early in the morning, and we're not gonna pick up until Monday evening, and that was because I had to wait till my son got off from school. He helped me pick up, and that's what we did.
All right, so check this out. This is what I do, because once they start spending like $400, $500, they don't really want to spend the extra money for the overnights. So what I've been doing is every customer, I ask them, what time is your party over at? And they'll be like, oh, like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, nobody finishes at that time. And then you tell them, look, if you guys are planning to get past, because my pickup time is at this time, for $45 more, I'll leave it, or whatever. I only charge $45. I'll leave it overnight. hits all the time, all the time. I always get people, and then right then and there, you just tell them, just sell me the money, and you just sell it and done. Especially Hispanics. Hispanics do not end their parties. So the one thing that they don't want is the babysitter to leave, especially because they're gonna get drunk.
And they'll press you on drinking a beer with them while you're setting up and picking up. I've
Yep.
done
Yeah,
that.
Oh, yeah.
another reason why
All the
I hate
time.
We definitely had that.
I hate
Yeah.
that shit. I hate picking up when during the middle of the party. Now you're the bounce house guy that brought all the fun, but you're picking
The
that shit up
bad
at night.
guy. Yep.
Now you're the fucking bounce house guy that picked this shit early. Some customers don't even understand it. Like that's what they paid for. That's what they wanted. That's, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And they're like, why are you picking this shit up this early? La 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 la.
There are
Some motherfuckers want to fight you.
there are some customers that do not want that stuff on their yard, and I get it. You accommodate to them. I still pitch that to them. Hey, if your party's gonna go past a certain point, there's a $45 overnight fee. You guys can keep it. I'll pick it up in the morning. And I typically just tell them, hey, I'm just gonna walk back and get it if you don't mind, so I don't have to wake you up. Dude, I'm telling you right now, it hits every single. About 8 out of 10 times it hits, and I'm walking home with extra money that I was gonna plan originally to leave it overnight, whether they liked it or not.
Yep.
So
And
Freddie,
that-
I know you're in Florida with me, but that I don't know, man. Up in the Tampa area, just walking in yards don't fly too well. So I'm always, even if I text them, I tell them, I'll knock on the door like, hey, I'm going back there. And most of them like, you woke me up and go ahead and bother me. But I'm not just walking in no yards. I mean, I know how I am if somebody walking my yard. So
I mean, it depends. It depends. You just
You
gotta
wanna-
get
you
the
wanna
feel
have
of the
it-
person.
You want to have in your contract that you can go in their yard at any time in case they try to steal your shit. And they can't ever try and stop you, like try and do trespassing or anything that on you, because they have that in a contract, and they waive that right by doing fucking business with you in your contract. You definitely want to do that no matter what. And like as far as the customers go, like some people don't care. I only really give a fuck when there's a dog back there and they're not home. I don't know if they left that. You know what I mean? They left that dude there or something. You know what I mean? You don't know. But as far as like it also depends where and who. And most of the time they'll tell you, I'm not going to be home tomorrow. Like, like, and then that's another thing too. They tell your guys that. And when you have somebody, you can add this to your list of 27 things, Nick. When you drop something off, that like when somebody drops something off and a different person picks it up, and you know what I mean, you did something out of the ordinary. You left the dolly with the chairs. You know what I mean? You did, etc. Like stuff that's out of the normal. But you left a ratchet there. Sometimes they look, okay, well the dolly's in a ratchet there. They didn't know that you left the dolly in a ratchet there because it was never noted on the sheet or the order or anything digitally. So now there's nothing attached to that, and you forget because two different people, like why would, and you can't expect the person that didn't deliver it to know that's there and find something that's out of the normal.
Yeah, we ran into that last year with some of the customers who already have a drop cord pulled. We just use theirs, and then the next person would just take the drop cord. Or that's the other issue with the water hoses. It cost us a fortune supplying water hoses because I was adamant about saying like, I'm not going to let a water hose ruin a kid's birthday party, but it got confusing because people would have the same water hose we have, and we didn't know if it was theirs or ours, or that was kind of a mess for us.
I'll tell you a simple fix. I'm about to do the same thing to my stuff. Color zip ties. Put like 3 or 4 zip ties, different color zip ties, and let all your guys know, like, hey, if you see something, an extension cord or a water hose with a bunch of zip ties, that's ours. It's a really good chance you're not going to find somebody with the exact same zip ties on their water hoses or their bounce houses.
I mean, well, I'm honestly just adding hoses to all my slides this year and leaving them in there. I'm just making sure they have ends that won't rust.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's what I do. I leave the hose on there forever.
Because then you know that one's attached and stuff like that. I would even freaking zip tie at the top so they can't yank it out too much if they try to. They leave it in there.
So what do you do?
It's
What do you
tied
do
to
if
the
like
back.
the customer doesn't have a water hose?
Then
I tell them they got
shoot
to go
the
buy one.
slide close enough to the freaking the end of the other one that you
What
brought.
about
They go to Home Depot and buy one.
Yep.
They gotta run.
I
Yeah,
told
like-
I told so many people they better go do that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, what-
Nick,
I'm sorry.
what-
I don't have
what-
like a 50-foot hose and it's 20 feet in the air, dude. I've only got
So
30 feet.
honestly, you want to hear some real shit, dude? Tent and Tables, like their rental company. I read their contract, and they don't even fill up their water barrels. They put the water barrels next to the tent, and they charge you per hour if they have to fill them up, pretty much. You know, and they just and they freaking have them all filled up, and it has to be the max, and they're not liable if they're not filled up all the way. And it says it right on their freaking contract, and they're bold as day. And I'm like, yo, that's interesting.
did you
Nice.
ever receive? Did you ever receive the drop cords that you ordered from IAPA? Like, what was your take on those?
Oh yeah. We got them. They're slick.
Okay, I
Mil
meant to ask
spec.
you that.
Yeah, mil spec.
What's the drop
Industries.
cord?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dope,
I don't know
bro.
why I don't know
They're
that either.
badass.
Yeah,
What is that?
I forgot about it, bro.
yeah.
You need to bring them to the next meeting and show them.
They're cool,
Well-
dude. They're cool. I need to make a video on those. Yeah, so basically it's got the one end, it's got 3 prongs, right? Just plugs in like normal. But what I like about that is the light is on that cord. So as soon as you plug it in the wall, the part you plug in the wall turns on, the light turns on there. I always said it makes no sense having the light 100 feet away. Like put the LED light right where I plug it in. So it's got that. And then on the other end, it's kind of hard to explain, but when you plug another cord in it, so when you plug the blower cord into it, it's got a lock mechanism that goes through the 2 holes in the prongs, and you cannot pull it apart unless you pull the little release. It's almost like an air compressor, and so you don't fry cords. So we just barely, I just opened the package like in probably, it might have been January or it might have been February, and then the guys were scared to use them because they were too new. So the guys were using all the old ones. I'm like, no, please use these. I want to, like, you guys are going to save money by using these.
No,
Try that.
You can do.
no.
You can-
I'll show you how to tie a cord that'll never fuck up your cords ever, and they'll never come undone, and they'll never ruin the cords at all. Like, there's no
Dude,
need to do
these-
all that.
No, but these were like the same price as going to like anywhere. When we quote, like, when I found the at IAPA, they'll do any color, and then the lettering where it says like 12 gauge or whatever.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of companies that do that. Yeah.
They do that, and they put your name all the way through them too. They put your company name, but like
Yeah,
these
mine's
were
got my
like
URL, my phone
reasonably.
number.
These were reasonably priced, like the same prices going wherever you buy your cords from. Like from what I could tell, I mean they seem.
I thought
reasonable.
you guys were talking about buying like just the apparatuses that tie cords together. That's what
No.
I was cutting out. That's what I heard. Badass
No, it's
cords.
it's
I've
the
heard of them. They're good.
It's the full cord, and the end is like
I
once you plug it in,
personally,
it's locked.
nobody else does this shit by me. I just go on fucking Amazon. Like, no customer has this shit. I go on Amazon, and because my company is like red, white, and blue, because Buffalo Bills and everybody in Buffalo, it's all American City, yada yada. Freaking, literally, my company is red, white, and blue. I have red, white, and blue extension cords. They're fire. I just got them from Amazon, and I just tied the end. I don't need all that fancy end stuff or my name engraved in them and all that. I have seen the ones with the name engraved in them. They're fire. But there is, like, Nick, can you do me a favor actually while you're on here?
Yeah, what's up?
I do want to look for some branded cords for groovy phone parties, and I do want a tie-dye extension cord. So if I have to spray paint one, I will. But like, I was just curious. They got that?
Here's the lock thing. And that's how you have to unlock it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's
Do it again. I missed it.
That's different than I've seen most of them. And that works with only their cords on their cords or other cords too.
blower cord.
No, any cord.
Let me see it. I want to see it.
Oh yeah, that's actually kind of interesting.
Why won't it
I
show
thought,
me?
I wonder how durable that shit is. You know the locks I thought you guys were talking about? You know those little plastic things that hang on one side and you just like fold it
Yeah.
over to the other one?
No,
I wish I had 2 cords with me. I would just show you how I tie extension cords so they don't freaking get fucked up. You do lose length though. That's why I like this is pretty cool too.
Yeah, they're cool. And so then the ones I got are red, like jump off red, and then they're and I can choose all sorts of different colors. And then yeah, and then down the length of the cord it says it's the jumpoff.com with the phone number, just over and over and over and over the whole length of the cord.
Is what you call it? Is there tie-dye cords? Let's look it up.
Let's see.
You can build custom. I'm pretty sure you can do like they'll do that. Even like they can do any color.
Because if not, I'm just gonna do that like a light blue. That was option B. But if I can have them tie-dye, that'd be fire.
Twist lock, straight blade. I don't know what any of these things are, dude. Oh, there we go. I definitely don't want that. What? Okay, that's no. Can I get whatever? Let's just keep going. Oh, Jesus.
You're
There we
deep
go.
in it now.
Black, white, or yellow for those. Yeah, so I chose some goofy ass chord. So it's like let me keep going back. Look at this. Okay, what's my wire type? Anybody know?
Yeah, that's a very important thing.
I would say the first one. I'm gonna guess the first one. I don't know though.
Well, 10-3 for 100-foot and 12-3 for a freaking what you call it for a 50-footer is like the best for if you're out there renting shit.
Dude, these are wild.
I think it's the first one.
Failing the tennis,
Nah.
bro. I tried the first one. Let's
It's
see.
gotta be the last one though.
Yeah, it's got to be this STW. All right. No, I don't know what I just chose, bro.
It's that plug head at the top.
Yeah, top one.
What was it?
Yeah, it's been the top one for a minute.
It's just upside down.
Yeah,
That one.
yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, it just looks funny because it's so.
Yeah, because the power is the one with the longer stick thing.
It's only
Only
it's,
comes in dark blue.
yeah, so it's the wrong thing because mine are red, and I had all sorts of different options.
I don't know. We'll mess with this some other time.
Someone said in the chat, there's another company that's called Badass Extension Cords, and they looked pretty
Yeah,
similar.
that's
Oh
what
God,
I'm
I got
talking
PTSD for badass, bro. Can't do it. Can't
Oh
do it.
my god, that's hilarious. I love it.
You don't own those dollies?
Somebody messaged me today. Stacy Conley messaged me today. They're brand new, but they're in Jumpstart. And they chat with in this chat all the time, and their badass dolly broke on them. And like, she didn't go into all the details, but it broke in some way where the 600-pound water slide almost fell on her.
Damn.
Sounds like bad manufacturing welds.
Yeah, dude, those dudes are honestly, I don't know what to say. They honestly now they're just marketing this one wench that they build. They're not
Yeah.
even marketing the freaking. You've been seeing it? I don't know. It's
Oh
just
yeah, it's like a plate that you stake down. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
it.
and people use those for tents and stuff all the time. It's not even new. Like
I was very surprised to see them.
I just don't trust them farther than I could throw anything they fucking make.
I was very surprised to see them at IAPA, considering all the bad negative stuff I heard about them.
For
I
real.
was-
That was
I
some
was
balls
hesitant.
there.
Their booth
Big
was
boss.
pretty big too.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you steal everyone's money, you can buy anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel strongly about those motherfuckers at all. Would you see the post this today about the FPS people?
No.
Oh yeah.
Bro,
So
that
apparently she's pissed off because
there's you tell him, Fred, you got it.
she's pissed off because he refunded her money.
Not
Wait,
even that, dude. You see how he refunded her money, but like after she bitched at all the groups. But then like, do you see how many people commented and said they haven't received shit in months at all either?
From what company?
The new foam cannon.
So I did the rip off from Foam Daddy.
Oh.
I wouldn't call it a ripoff.
What would you call it?
Just somebody that found the manufacturer and now is making their own. It's the exact same
No.
product.
There's no way. Are you buying from the same places that he is? He's trying to manufacture. Paul doesn't buy those from somewhere. Paul makes those. Well, DJ actually makes those. If you've been to the convention and stuff.
Paul actually builds the motors and all that stuff.
No. He takes a whole bunch of components and assembles them, just like a bounce house. Like the person that like the companies buy the vinyl from doesn't necessarily isn't the same company making the freaking thread, isn't necessarily the same people making the clips, isn't the same person that's making the sewing machines.
It's the same thing this guy's doing.
What?
It's the same thing this guy's doing. He's buying components from different people and putting it together and selling them.
Yes. And the reason that is too is if you think about it, like you could go do the same thing yourself if you really wanted to.
Oh, for sure.
If you look at all the hold on a second, because at the end of the day, most of the components are made so you can go to Home Depot and buy them. There's a perfect reason they do that, so you can fix it if you know what you're doing, no matter what.
Right.
Like, there's a reason
I agree with you.
hardware components and foam machines in general. It literally is just air and water in solution going through a net, going through a screen. Exactly. Like that's how you make bubbles in general. All these people make machines and all that, but like to completely like copy the same thing and then start burning people. That's what I'm just saying. I saw a whole bunch of other people that said that they've spent money and like I had somebody else that I sold a machine because I sell foam dating machines, by the way. Disclaimer, but like seriously,
that was your advertisement.
Yeah, right. So seriously, somebody hit me up today and was like, I haven't even got a quote or invoice. It's been 2 months, and they said they're gonna send me stuff. I got a party on 4/28, and you know what I mean? Like, but there's other people saying there's a whole bunch of she wants a refund. There's a whole bunch of people like who have sent this person money and just never got an invoice, never got a date, never got nothing. So he's taking on all this work because he has the manufacturing capabilities, but obviously he can't produce and he doesn't have the quality support or the control because you see like 20 people doing like complaining about giving this person money because it's $1,000 cheaper and suddenly he can't deliver. Shocker.
Yeah, I don't understand that whole notion of make the cheap thing. It's just like, dude, what's the point? Like, you just know, like, there's a new dolly manufacturer that I had a conversation with, and they were going to come into the market, you know, and undercut everybody. And I'm like, don't come in the market and undercut everybody. Come in the market and come in cheaper. I'm cool with that. I respect that. And that's what I would probably do too. But like, you come in like drastically lower, what's going to happen is even if you're trying to make a good product, you're going to be like absolutely bombarded and inundated with orders, and then you're going to get the hug of death. It's freaking, you know, Corona bounce situations. Like, everybody loved the design so much, we all bought too much shit, and you couldn't keep up.
Right. That sucks. I don't know his backstory. I feel like he came out super cheap, almost like a slap in the face. I don't know if him and Paul have a relationship at all, but yeah, I think it was like $1,500, almost like $1,000 cheaper. That's
nobody knows who the dude is, dude. All I know is that he's got I could drop his like rap sheet and stuff like that in the group and stuff like that, but I'm just waiting for Chris to do it.
I bought that stand that he made. That stand looks tight. And then I bought some wraps from him. Well, I didn't buy the wraps. He's giving them to me for free.
I'm pretty sure he gets it from Johnny.
No, he's not Johnny. Johnny doesn't do it.
I know Johnny's pushing them now.
Kirk, you're good with 12.3, bro. 12.3.
Yeah. 12.3, 50 feet, 10.3, 100 feet.
Shit, I use 12-3 for everything.
So do I, but you don't feel the difference?
Yeah, it only matters in the middle of the summer when it's super hot out. It can get
Yeah,
the
those cords
cords
get
hot
hot.
enough they can melt, and that's the only reason that you know what I mean. You could go through those variables, but I'm up north, and a lot of the times I do the same thing, but I try not to advertise that to everybody because I know that'll fuck somebody in Florida up.
I mean, we've melted a couple cords together, but what can you do?
Like I was in the 10-3 and I was here in the 12. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
you don't want that to happen while the kid's in it in the bounce house.
Yeah, but I'm saying with a 50-foot 12, I've had a 50-foot 12-3 hooked up to a blower, and it still melt the cords together. That's what I'm saying. Like people say, oh, a 10-3 won't do that. Bullshit. 10-3s are a pain in the ass too. They're heavy as shit.
What kind of blower was it?
Crazy expensive. I mean, I've had it happen to a couple different blowers. I mean, it's so hot out. It gets so hot out, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. I try to hide mine in bushes and stuff like that.
It's
Try to
not
run it.
here's another trick. Do you leave your extension cords do you have it you can't it looks shittier, but you gotta hide it somewhere where you bring all the extension cords, you don't leave it all on top of each other because that heat draws on it. It's not like they're building up too on the freaking cord. You gotta leave it strung out in in a line on the side of a house or something like that, or something like that. As much as you can hide or spread it out long ways.
Or the best thing is dip it in gasoline and then put it out.
Yeah, spit on it.
Yeah, we had to pick up one time. We had to pick up one time, and the plug-ins, the actual plugs, were sitting in a puddle of water. And one of our guys, he's not this stupid, but he was this day he was. The dumbass fucking reached down to grab him out of the water, stopped him, and he jumped back. And I was like, "What the fuck did you expect? It's in water." Dude reaches in a second time, shocks him again, and I'm like, "Bro, grab the cord and pull it out."
I would have just been like, "Go sit in the truck. Go sit in the truck."
Yeah, so when I try to avoid that too when I set up water slides. I like to have a little bit of extra cord enough to where I tie that knot in it, and I leave that knot wedged into the top of the blower.
Yeah, we do. So what we do is we spin our cords around the blower. We don't go around the blower tube. We go around the bottom and top of the blower like this. And then that way the plug always is on the handle. And so that way the plug is always up on top of the blower no matter what, every single time.
You just leave them like that all the time and just go for it?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. What happens when it gets too hot though? It never freaking fucks it up?
No, I've been doing it for years. I've been doing it 2 years. And so the blower cord's just always around the blower, unless you got to run, unless you need that length to get all the way to the outlet or whatever. But that's
aggressive as fuck. I've never done that. I always undo them.
Yep.
It's past my bedtime, boys. I'll see y'all.
I'm getting a
great
cold.
meeting.
I'm not going to be able to go much longer.
Tuck them in.
We'll see y'all
later. Yeah, if you order straps right now, Kirk, it'll be the kids are out of school, bro. So it's brutal to get up to the warehouse because my wife cuts hair, so she's gotta go cut hair, and then I'm just left in daddy duty. But I have got to go up to the warehouse tomorrow. I think I have 10 orders to fill tomorrow.
Where's my pull straps?
yeah, I'm about to order
14. I got 14 orders to fill tomorrow, and I got to get Freddie his. Freddie's is overdue. That order is overdue. Yeah, so I'll be up there tomorrow to fulfill them for sure. So they should go out tomorrow. Yeah, they'll go out tomorrow.
I'm gonna make a video reviewing them shirtless.
Yes, bro. Come on.
You're gonna get some jump off suspenders?
Hell yeah.
Because they're freaking some suspender straps, something like that.
Yeah, bro. The place I buy a lot of my supplies for my local seller to use, they sell those. They sell little suspender pinchy thingies. I can make it happen, bro.
Bro, if you did some of those, bro, I swear I'd be wearing some jump off suspenders.
Some 1.5 inch polypropylene. Be hot.
fucking bright red.
Yes, bro.
It says it's fucking just says just go.
Well, I'll make that shit for you. I'll bring them for IAPA. You can wear them at IAPA.
Oh, I swear to fucking God, you know I will. I'll have the Foam Daddy sombrero, like freaking straw hat on, and the freaking Just Go straps.
Just Go
You'll be a walking
suspenders.
billboard.
I basically am everywhere I go. Most of the time it's for Carhartt.
That's amazing. So
I
gonna end this shit,
I
dude.
should do a video about that, but like Carhartt's awesome, guys. Like I don't know if you guys like workwear. Like, what do you guys use for work shirts and stuff like that besides these? Like, because you can get, if you go to an actual place, you can buy Carhartt shirts and then get them embroidered and with your stuff on them, and they last. Like they're thick, solid shirts. They have all kinds of different stuff, and then you get discounts, and your employees can get discounts with like Carhartt at work. And you just like sign up for your company, and suddenly because you have a business, and then you literally you just get discounts automatically with Carhartt because you have
You
a
lost
business.
me at thick.
Huh?
You lost me at thick.
I don't know when I said that.
Mesh,
You're
bro.
saying
Be a mesh.
Like I'm saying, thick shirts are not what I'm wearing out there in the sun.
no, they have thick, they have thin, they have I don't know.
I wear my
they're well made.
Puerto Rican tank top see-through fishnet one.
Yes, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about workwear, like I'm like tank tops, they have all that stuff. But like they do have the Carhartt logo on them too. And that's what I fuck with. They let you put your stuff with their stuff.
Justin, you look so high, bro.
I am high.
Yeah.
I'm just I wear you already know I wear Carhartt all the time. I know you say something all the time. I'm just saying you can get mad discounts for Carhartt.
All right, I'm gonna end the stream because I am getting a cold and I'm not very. I've expended my energy, so we're gonna cut her off early tonight. So
All right. Hasta mañana, everybody.
you guys are awesome. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you, Nick.
Feel better.
Thank you, man.